Debbie will be gone a year on Easter.
She actually went very fast, and she passed away last October.
We had
You'll
two.
do that question.
We had two.
Just, he'll be missed. Good person.
Died of heart failure at age 38. It was very unexpected.
Well, he was a happy little guy.
I don't know, I can't even believe it's been 6 months already, but from before he died.
It's hard, but I try to look at it that way too. That we had 7 great years. 7.5.
September 8th, I think it was.
2 days before my birthday.
2 days before your birthday. So, we were struggling through the fall with that loss, doing what we could do internally.
It was difficult for us, but it was really, really hard on her.
Yeah, he was a young guy. And it was just such a shock. It was so sudden.
I don't think our minds really were there at that point. We had a lot of frustration and we were irritated a lot about having to do all that stuff. But
I got sick of it after a while because it went on for so long.
And we've been struggling to make the most of it, of our lives since then. So that's what happened to her.
You know, it's just been a really rough time because we were so involved in their family, and it's just hard.
About 2 months after that, in November, both my wife and I commented to each other how often we saw him, or people that so closely resembled him that it was like, take two, or double take. And I said, she said it, I said, this it's the same for me. I see him all over the place. So.
It changes everything about your life.
It changes a lot of things.
What's that song say? You get up every morning, you breathe in, you breathe out. Because what else do? You do what you have to do. In my case, the way I was raised, there's no other choice. You keep going. You do what you have to do. You do it with a real heavy heart, but you keep going.
I had a planned breakdown. I ran away for a week. I had to go on a cruise. My friends, some of the Cub Scout moms had taken me out. And they said, I kind of was just it was the end of October, and I have a 4-year-old at home that I'm with 24 hours, 7 days a week. And he's great, and he knows I'm sad about Colin. And he'll say, Mommy, I know you're sad today, huh? And I was like, yeah, baby. But I couldn't get mad. I couldn't really lose it like I needed to. And so I called a friend from Minneapolis who we had gone to visit this summer, 2 weeks before the accident. And I said, so what you doing next week? So she dropped everything and went on a cruise with me. And she basically babysat me. I mean, I lost my credit card in the first port, so she, after, forgetfulness and just spaciness, and left my money out laying somewhere. She's like, that does it. She took my stuff and she babysat me for a week. And I needed that. And I had a time alone. I had to drive across Florida by myself because of the flight I took to drive across. I had time to yell and scream and just do what I needed to do. So I needed to get a little away.
it was hard, and it still is, for me to go over to his house. Because I mean, it feels like his house still, I don't know. I can't quite describe what I feel when I
Kind of
walk
like
in
he's
there.
still there.
But yet, I don't feel like I fit quite like I did.
Some of the things I do, I try to always keep Angelica in the forefront. Like, for example, Christmas. Throughout the years, we've had different views of how Christmas trees should be presented. Again, presentation was very important to her, so she always liked very organized, artistically decorated trees, like always with white lights only. And what color bulbs? Ornaments?
Silver and purple.
Silver and purple, or I think one year we had all red or all gold bulbs, and decoratively placed, and it really did look nice. My family, it's always been is, if you've got it, you throw it on the tree, and the kids kind of fall more in line with that. So this year we had 2 trees. We had one for Angelica and one for the rest of us too.
Oh, we're so unorganized. Our lives have been in total chaos.
Not very well.
We hate each other at times.
It's been pretty intense for me. Grief is an interesting thing. I mean, I'll be going along one day and be doing pretty well. Like at Easter time, I did really well, and today's been horrible. I mean, from the minute I opened my eyes, I was depressed and was crying, and a song set me off, and it's just been all day long.
It's like that for all of us, but I think it's hard because we're all so close to the problem and the loss and all of that we're so into it ourselves that we can't see what other people are going through in our family, and it's hard to be there for each other.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things that we've done is made time for each other, made time for her to do her thing. She makes time for me to do my thing. She gives me time to ride my bike, which is something that I need. It's one of my releases. And getting time away, where you have time to think or not think or whatever you need that day. I think that's one of the really big things. But then being there for each other too. When I know when she's having a bad day, when she comes to bed at 1 a.m, she's crying. She might have had a bad day today. Maybe she wants to talk.
And she thinks of a lot of things about what to do, and like on Palm Sunday when we're at the church and making little crosses out of the palms, and make sure we got enough so that we can take some out to the cemetery, and right. So we do a lot of things. We think a lot about her.
It's denial, yeah.
And we were all in it. We're still pretty much all in it, I think.
Oh, denial. It's such a weird thing. I mean, you can be going along thinking everything's okay, and then it occurs to you how everything isn't okay.
I'm still in denial. It's kind of funny. I got to the point where I just needed to let it out no matter what. So I would be sitting in class not paying any attention, and I'd basically be writing diary notes in my notebooks at school.
We went to a counselor once, and he pretty much said, "You guys are doing fine." And I'm going, "Oh, okay." We set up an appointment for her to see a therapist, and she went, 3 or 4 times, and the lady said she doesn't need to be here. She's doing just fine. And there again, I'm going, "Oh, okay." Because this type thing doesn't come with instructions. You know how awful you're feeling inside, but everybody around you saying, "Oh, you're doing okay." So you just feel kind of empty and, "Oh, I'm doing okay. Why do I feel so awful then?" You know?
A lot of crying, talking about him, sharing memories. Do you miss your dad?
the old school, they never talked about it. Someone died, you know, and that was it. And it seems like that old adage, well, you don't talk about religion, politics, stuff like that. You know, in our generation, I think we need to.
Some of the people obviously were still struggling mightily. Others were either, everybody had their own affect about it, but that we could come together on a weekly basis and share that. What's going on? How's it been? Sort of a checking in. And to see how painful it was for someone to do that week in, week out, yet they still came. He or she still came, or the couple still came. And I know for my family, it was very helpful to move through that 8 weeks and to see that everybody's got pain, everybody deals with it differently, and there is no good, bad, or best way to do it. It's just do it, and don't keep it in here.
I think it's been good just knowing there's other people out there going through lousy stuff, and the getting to, like you said, with the continuity, getting to know the person and maybe the person they lost a little bit, I think makes it easier to understand what they're going through. Those of us who lost children don't truly understand what it's like to lose a spouse, but we get a little sight of it here, and there's similarities, there's differences, and I think that part of it's really good. You get to see, well, this sucks, but you know, but somebody else is going through something totally different, which sucks in just another way. So it's kind of nice. True.
Kind of blow your mind. I mean, when you came here, I mean, I thought I was the only one that something bad happened to.
I went mostly not for myself. I went for a friend who was also in the group.
Yeah, that's why I went.
But talking about it with people who understood what I'd gone through and had gone through similar things helped me realize that the feelings I were having were really normal. And it made me feel good to be able to go and talk to them also and kind of let them know that things were going to be okay, because a lot of them, like the girls who lost their father, it was sudden and they didn't know it was going to happen, and I knew it was going to happen. So it made me feel good to be able to talk to them about some of the feelings I had so that they could kind of realize that it was okay to feel how they were feeling.
The real thing is the community. They have just stood by us. They help out. It's just incredible. Not just the food. My kids have so many activities, and they're whisked away from school, and they end up here at home, and there's this whole network of people networking to see that the kids are taken care of.
But I am grateful to Hospice and to everyone in that group sharing their experiences, and I mean, it helped me to realize that I wasn't alone. It was just nice to have people who were grieving as well.
Well, and after my whole friend thing, like, oh, you don't understand, you guys are weird for thinking so much of that little thing. It was nice to come here and have other people feel the same way.
It's a safe place to be.
Well, I have a counselor at school.
Yes. Thank you.
I had a counselor, a regular counselor that I went to every Tuesday, and they both, we couldn't go to the counselor that I went on Tuesday because they were changing.
I forgot all about that. Yes, we used a counselor at Hunter's school to help her with some anger problems that were pretty much spiking during the fall of last year, and we think it was keyed around the death of Steve. And yes, that's right, it was Mr. Jackson that recommended that we check up on Hospice's services.
Also a teacher that I went.
A teacher, yes, thank you.
Not a teacher, but I mean like that person.
So it's you who helped us find Hospice.
But yeah, I feel like we've gotten a lot of support from our church and a lot of support from some of our family and
friends.
Some of our friends have been incredible too. I guess on a good sense, you find out who your friends really are through something like this. And the ones that have been there for us have just been amazing.
We had a party in the park afterwards. Not a normal memorial, but that was our memorial. That was Colin, one of our best friends, who knew the boys from Scouts, said if you had it in a church or a stuffy room, Colin wouldn't be there anyway. So you might as well have it outside where he'll actually show up.
Because I thought people would be kind of offended by that we were having a party. Because we had balloons, and we had sidewalk chalk, and we had football games, and we had
a huge block
I
party
was
over at the
afraid
school.
of people being offended by that. And once our friend did say, well, Colin wouldn't come if it was inside. I said, well, yeah, you know what, you're right.
One mechanism that we use to, just help get feelings around the death of the grandfather, Steve, in September, put together just a memory book.
We haven't done anything different as far as a memorial tribute to Debbie or anything, because her life was. And there's not a day gone by that I haven't spent time thinking of her.
And just for relaxation, I really don't draw very much. I think in 2000 when my wife got sick again, that was one of the ways I kind of dealt with it. I sat down and I drew a picture of her, and that was the first one I'd drawn in I don't know how many years.
You're always going to remember their face and stuff like that. But forgetting the little things like their voice or their mannerisms and the little things that, unless you have it on tape, you're not going to know.
I actually have my brother's voice on my voicemail that I saved. And that was a total fluke. But remember, yesterday, we listened to it yesterday several times. Kept hitting 4.
We had a memorial service for Brian at our church, and he was cremated, and so the following Saturday we took his remains to Breckenridge. His family built a cabin up there, and we've stayed up there many weekends. He loved Breckenridge, and that's where we decided to take his remains. And we just put them out around the property and just hung out that day. It was a beautiful day, just starting into fall, and it's very pretty up there. And I just thought that was the perfect place for his remains to go. And we're going to plant a tree in the backyard. His birthday's May 31st. Have a barbecue with his family. And
tonight we are remembering Steve Adler and Joyce Redding. We remember Angelica Engelman. We remember Brian Johnson. We remember Brian Ring. We remember Colin Sanders. We remember Debbie Williams.